right? Know the compensation plan, right? And just keep filling your head with knowledge on the business. Become an expert, right? Mastery. We have to have that knowledge, because we're recruiting someone and they ask us a question. That's okay if you don't know some things, right? And you could say, "Oh, I'm gonna get that answer for you," right? You never tell them, "Oh, I don't know. We're just gonna have to skip that." No, you gotta let them know. I don't have the answer to that right this second, but I will get that for you, and keep your word on that. Make sure that you're reaching out to your upline, your regional vice president, and getting that knowledge. A lot of this stuff, a lot of knowledge comes with doing the work, right? So you have to be out in the field. You have to be doing this to gain that knowledge, but also take the time to watch the YouTube videos, right? Get on SoundCloud, right? Master your craft, right? So that's number one, knowledgeable. They're knowledgeable. The second characteristic is they're adaptable. Okay, my computer is being slow. So they're adaptable. Okay, so they adjust their approach based on the individual they're recruiting. Understand that everyone has different motivations and needs. That's why we form people, right? We're forming them in the beginning so we can understand what they're looking for and how we can help them, right? When I first started, I would form people just to form them, right? We're just asking those questions just because we don't really have a purpose behind it at first. But you really need to understand that you're asking these questions so you can see how they can benefit from this business the most, right? If you're talking to someone that already has maybe two jobs and they're really just looking for like a side hustle, you're not going to talk to them about building a business right off the bat, right? Obviously, you're going to let them know that's an option, right? But you're not going to go on and on and on and on about building this huge business with this big base shop, bringing in millions of dollars a year. That's just not something that they're looking for right now. And that could honestly turn them off, right? So be adaptable. Cater your presentations, your recruiting appointments to said person that you're speaking with. All right. So they're adaptable. This third thing is they play it cool. They're not word vomiting, you guys. They don't have sales breath, right? They need us more than we need them. We are the ones who have the gift, right? We have Primerica. We have the business opportunity here. You have to act like it, okay? If you hold the golden ticket to Primerica, sorry, I'm looking off my notes. I made some notes last night, but play it cool, you guys. I know that some of you might be a little bit nervous when talking to people, right? And you might need to say some affirmations to yourself. I got this. I'm the professional. I know more than them. I have the golden ticket, right? I have this opportunity that can change their life. You do not need them. Okay. Do not be desperate for recruits. There are billions of people on this planet that you can recruit. Okay. Play it cool. Number four is they know how and when to create momentum and urgency. They know how and when to create momentum and urgency. Go for no. Have you guys ever heard of that saying before? We used to use it a whole lot in my last company. Go for no. So with the go for no, if you've never heard of this before, Primerica is a numbers game, you guys. It's all numbers. The more people you talk to, the more business you're gonna get, right? So when we say go for no, that means have your mind focused on they're probably gonna tell me no. And if they tell me yes, awesome, right? Go for no. The more no's you get, the more yeses you'll get. So I want to give you guys a little challenge with this one. I want you to set up a goal for how many no's you can get by the end of the day. How many no's can you get by the end of the day? Because that amount of no's is going to get you one step closer to the yes, right? They know how to kick it up a notch. Strong recruiters know when to, you know, those 90-day runs, like our coaches talk about doing. They know when it's time for them to kick it up a notch. So that's number four. Number five is they are trustworthy. There's Calvin the third right there crying at the door. Um, they are trustworthy. Okay, he's fine, you guys. He's just upset he didn't get to come in. So they are trustworthy. They keep their word. I can't see the comments if you guys are in the chat, but how do you build trust, you guys? By being consistent and showing up. being consistent and showing up, whether that's, you talk to someone that also kind of falls into following up as well. So in person, how you show that you're trustworthy. One, obviously you keep your word, but two, you show up, you continuously talk about your business, you continuously are doing this thing, right? A lot of people think, oh, that's just a phase, that's just something that they just started, it's probably not going to last. We've been doing this for 2 years. So now that our family knows, hey, we're serious about this, we've been able to close more business with them. Now, online, the way you show that you're trustworthy is that you show up online as well, right? Talking about your business. Okay. Let's see. Also be upfront when you're on appointments and they ask a question. Maybe they ask, is this commissions? And you're scared to turn them off because you're scared that they're going to be like, oh, no, absolutely not. No commissions for me. Tell them, yes, this is commission based. Have confidence within that. Okay. That's showing that you're trustworthy, that you're not hiding anything, right? Answer those questions. Don't beat around the bush because you're scared to turn them off. You can't say the wrong thing to the right person and you can't say the right thing to the wrong person. Okay. All right, number 6 is not everyone is right for the business. You guys, not everyone is right for the business. Okay, we understand that this opportunity is for everyone, but it's not just for anyone. Okay, there's a certain type of person, right, who needs what we have. There are business owners and there are employees, and we need both of those people to make the world go round, right? We need both of them. They both have their purpose. So just because somebody isn't right for the business doesn't make them they're wrong or right or whatever, right? Just keep pushing. It might not be for them, and that's okay. If you are upset, this is something that I heard at my last company that has stuck with me for a couple years now. If you are hurt, if you are upset or distraught about one person saying no, maybe you've been talking to this person for a while and you finally get them on a Zoom call and then they tell you, no, this isn't for them. If you are upset about that, you're not talking to enough people. If you are upset about one person saying no or not right now, because right, sometimes no's just mean not right now, right? You're not talking to enough people. Okay. Let's see. Number 7 is they have high energy. Strong recruiters have high energy. That energy is attractive, right? It's going to draw people in. Get excited again. What excites you about the business? If there's a certain audio or video or certain affirmations or maybe a picture or something that gets you hype and kind of reminds you why you're here, do that. Watch that. Listen to that before you hop on a appointment. Okay. They have high energy. Your energy can be felt, right? Energy is frequencies, and frequencies are everything. They're everywhere. You have to have high energy or they're going to feel that. They're going to see it. Okay. Plus, if you have high energy, it's going to rub off on them and they're going to get excited, right? So you have to have high energy. Dive deeper into your own energy. How do you want to make people feel? And have that servant energy. Okay. Have that servant energy. We are here to also make an impact, right? Have that servant energy. Number 8 is they support and network with other business owners. Support and network with other business owners. You never know who you can impact, right? You might be able to impact another business owner or somebody that they're connected with, or you never know who it can impact you, right? We always talk about you're one recruit away from an explosion in your business, right? Go ahead and get to talking and networking with other business owners. They're already in this space. They're already in the business owner mindset. We don't have to train them up on that because they're already in that, right? Network with them. And maybe they're not the ones that are looking for this opportunity, but maybe they know somebody, right? We always say that. It's not the person that you're looking for, it's who they know. Right? Let's see. You're creating more relationships when you do that. And then share online, share their posts. Even if they didn't ask you to, if you see a business owner posting something, share it, comment, like, engage, right? You want them to do the same thing to you. You got to give it out, right? Give and receive. All right, number 9 is you have to set the example. Okay, you set the tone for your business, for your team. So you have to show up how you want your people to show up, right? You need to show up as the rock star you're trying to recruit. Like tracks alike, right? Like tracks like. Yeah, that's right. So just be the person that you want to be, right? Show up early, take notes, be enthusiastic, have high energy, all of these things that we just talked about. You set that example, your people are going to follow in your footsteps. Okay, they're already going to know what's up before they get started rolling in the business because you've already set the tone. And make sure you're taking action every day. Now, when I say take action every day, that always doesn't look the same, right? If you've got kids, right, you know that every day is not going to be the same exact thing, but you have to take some action. Figure out what your priorities are and knock those out first, okay? Last but not least, they have unshakable belief, all right? The business is on you. Your current results are a direct reflection of your thoughts. Your current results, so where you are right now, are a direct reflection of your thoughts and your thought pattern. Okay. I know this is something that I honestly struggle with for a little bit, because if you guys know me, I didn't start out in the business. My husband did, right? He was in the business probably a little over maybe a year, a little under a year actually. And then I got started working with him. I had a whole different business selling same type of setup. It was direct sales, but it was dealing with hair care. Okay, so I had a strong belief because I'd been using the products. I had been in that business for 4 years, right? I had unshakable belief within that business because it's what I knew, what I was comfortable with. When I got in here, I did not have unshakable belief. It was very shaky, if I'm being honest. Okay, I didn't understand. I'm trying to knock this heater out. I didn't understand like the impact really that we made. Like I understood we were, you know, helping people with their finances and whatnot, but I really didn't grasp the full impact. And now that I understand it, I have that unshakable belief, right? And you can see it. You can see it in the confidence, right? When I get on appointments now, I'm not freaking out and like hyperventilating because I have unshakable belief. I believe in the company. I believe in the vision. I believe in what this opportunity can provide for me and my family. Okay. So that's all I got for you guys. Say your affirmations, rewrite your thoughts. That's the last couple notes that I had on number 10. But hope you guys took some good nuggets out of this. Hope it spoke to you in some way. But I'm gonna pass it off to, I think, Dan.
Yo, what's up? It's on me, Sierra. Good stuff, good stuff. Hey, type in the chat. That was a great job, Sierra, man. You're so good at the business. And yeah, hopefully you guys were taking notes on that stuff. I'm gonna dive right in this morning. I'm gonna be giving you guys some of my takeaways from the Faith Hustle podcast. I know we got few new people on this morning, so you guys know. Um, so I have several different business podcasts and Instagram pages and stuff that I follow. And when I'm listening to these things, I'm not just listening, I'm actually taking notes. And it's so wild, like, how a lot of the things that they're covering relates to our business. And these are people with a lot of these speakers on the Faith Hustle podcast. It's a Christian based podcast for entrepreneurs. On the Faith Hustle podcast, I don't think Dan, no, Dan listens to it here and there. I don't think there's been a speaker on that's been in a business like ours yet. But what I found that was really interesting and cool was that they have a lot of the same mindsets, right? They're talking about the same stuff, that pertains to our business. So when they go to some of my takeaways, these are like in no particular order. Some of these are actual takeaways. Some of these are just thoughts that popped up as I was listening to the speakers. One of the things that I want to employ you guys to do is in your downtime, self-develop, right? Like I've said this several times. You'll hear other speakers talk about it. Like you to walk into your bright new future, you can't be your same old self. And most people think they can do that. Most people think like, hey, I'm gonna level up and then not, but they're gonna level up physically, they're gonna level up in their spiritual lives, their relationships, their business, right? Physically leveling up. But they don't level up internally. They'll shut Dan's chat down this morning. They don't level up internally, right? So you got to level up internally first, right? Before you can do it externally. It does not that does external wins and victories don't precede internal wins and victories. So number one, a lot of this is mindset stuff. This is not a lot of how to, by the way. Mindset. More this is a good number one, by the way. More is caught than taught. More is caught than taught. Listen, your leaders, we can tell you what to do, how to do it, have you watch audios, have you watch videos, but you being there actually seeing it done is more powerful, more impactful. We got a builder school coming up, right? I will, if I were you, I would be fighting like tooth and nails to get there. Right, because yeah, we can tell you about it. You can live stream in, but it will not compare to being there physically. It will not compare to being there physically. So more is caught than taught. I learned more from Ian, right? I learned more from Ian actually sitting in on presentations, actually having lunch with him, actually watching him make calls, right? I learned more there about the business and how to do things than I did actually listening to audios, reading books, watching videos, whatever the case may be. Okay. Number two, first and foremost, we're in the people's business. We're in the people's business. You got to remember that. This is, and this guy, the speaker that was on, he was a ex NFL player. I think he was a kicker for the Vikings. Um, Taylor is his name. I can't think of his last name right now. But anyway, you know, this guy was in football, and he was saying that like, hey, no, you're in a people's business first, and then it's profits. You can never flip it around, right? When people become numbers and not Taylor Swift. Oh my goodness, Lacey, get these people together this morning, right? No, it was not Taylor Swift. Taylor, I don't. That was good though. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so we're in the people's business. We're in the people's business, Dion, right? You cannot treat people like numbers, or you cannot treat people like they're just the next paycheck, right? Or this means to an end, right? You have to really care about what you're doing for people. On the client side, right? Helping them get into a better financial position, helping them accomplish their objectives and goals first, right? First, and not thinking about your wallet or your or paycheck first. Right? Like if it and I found myself there. If I would be honest with you, you got things going on, you need to make money. I get it, right? But I'm a firm believer that if you're doing the right things, God will bless your hand. Right? God will bless your hand. So you got it has to be people's first with your teammates, with your new recruits. You got to do the right things for them. I've had times I've told this talked about this before where like I recruited people or brought people onto the team up under other teammates, and they would never know, right? They would never know, um, because maybe I got. Yeah, I'll give you guys a good example. Regina Hoban on my team, who's our licensing instructor. Gina operates more in the silent partner capacity these days. We have a young lady by the name of Darcy Smith. Darcy should be licensed here soon. Darcy's been with us for some years now, but she's been a client. And I eventually recruited Darcy not too long ago because she just kept referring us to people. Like she's always referring us to people, getting us in front of people. And I mean that this has been going on for years. And I'm not talking about like, this has been going on for 2 or 3 years. This has been like 10 years. Darcy has just been putting us in front of people. And Darcy and Gina, for whatever reason, Darcy, I met Darcy through Gina, right? And for whatever reason, Darcy and Gina don't, they're not like they don't get along. Yeah, yeah, let's go there. They don't get along, right? And so Darcy, she comes to me with a lot of the stuff. She doesn't even go to Gina. But every time she does, guess who I give credit on that stuff? Guess who I split on the sale, put on the sale, give the recruit to? Gina. And I could do the sale, Sarah, put it under my code and my name, and Gina would never know. Because her and Darcy don't talk. Right? But you gotta do the right things for your people. I heard we used to tell the kids in children's church, but God's always watching. Right? You're like, oh, nobody's paying attention. Nobody will ever know. Well, yep, there is somebody that knows. Somebody that runs the whole universe. He's paying attention to you. All right. So you gotta do the right thing for your people. We're in the people's business first. Number 3, the culture needs to be the same in person as it is on paper. Whatever your missions, and like people have these mission statements and these value statements, right? And then in person, that culture is completely different. You gotta be the same. It has to be the same, right? Like you can't be like, hey, we got you get a person on the Zoom call and we tell them like, yeah, we got a upbeat environment, the energy is well, people treat people well, and they get on the meeting, it's completely different, right? That's why we're all over you about having your cameras on, smiling, taking notes. Why? Because I'm telling my brand new person this is how it works. And then they get on and they see you on, you don't got your camera on, you're not smiling, you're not taking notes. They're like, dang, that Jerome's a liar. Right. So the mission, it has to be the same. Right. Like you can't be saying one thing out of your mouth and then acting a completely different way. Right. They have to align. Okay. Fly here for time's sake. Just number 3. Number 4. I got a couple more here. Number 4, people are usually secure in the product, service, or brand because they are secure in the leader. People are usually secure in the product, service, or brand because they are secure in the leader. People are following you first, right? People are joining you before they join Primerica. Like you are a representative for the company out there. People see you, and then they see the company. It's sad. Like most people, a lot of people won't get to fully experience Primerica because they experience you first. Sheesh, that man. When I got that, Dan, like that was scary for me to think about that. Right. So we just got to, and Sierra did a great job of this morning in her talk. We just got to work on being better leaders, better all around leaders, and I think one of like Dan and I and Cass, regional vice presidents on this call, we're more for. There's a word I'm looking for. I can't think of it right now. Holistic, I think would be the word. Holistic leadership, not like this fabricated form of leader. Like, and I kind of talked about it in my last point. The things that we're talking to you, not vegan leadership, bro. Who's somebody? Because I said the chat off. Can I not see my chat? Let me just X this out. Not vegan leadership, Dan. Right? But we want to like the things that we're telling you to do, we're practicing and doing. Right? We are we are very transparent about our struggles and the things that we're working on. We're in the trenches and the grind like you. Right? Those are so we want you guys to be secure in us as leaders. And then once you're secure in us as leaders, you know you can trust the rest of the product. Because we wouldn't mislead you, right? We wouldn't mislead you. And that's going to be the same with your teammates. That's going to be with your clients. Like if you ever have a client hit you up and say, "Hey, Jerome, whatever you can put me in, I trust you." That means they're secure with you as a person, right? That's a great feeling. That's a great feeling. I had a client text me tonight, Jeremiah Mill, like, "Hey, you got something you can put me in, right?" Like, and I can probably hop on and say, "Hey, do this, do this, do this," and he's going to do it. That's because he's secure with me as a person that's leading him. Okay. Um, Number 5. Couple more minutes here. Um, when you have proximity, people aren't afraid to approach you. It's kind of what I'm talking about now. When you have proximity, people aren't afraid to approach you. We don't want to ever become unapproachable, right? Even as you level up, even that, and you see this happen with so many leaders, and I know Dan can probably attest to this with different leaders within the company. Like they start growing in income, growing in contract level, growing in status, and almost treat you like they never knew you. Like, okay, cool. Like, I was with you in the trenches, bro, when we were, right, hanging out at your house doing potlucks, and you couldn't have a catering service, right? But we don't want to be like that. As we don't want to. I'm doing this thing right. Well, I got back to doing this, and I had Sierra started doing this where, like, hey, Sierra, when you recruit somebody, put me a three-way text with them. I want to get to know them. So they hear this title, regional vice president, or this guy's up in Michigan. They see you on a Friday night training. They don't think they have access to you, but that's not the case, right? And I had a conversation with our new teammates Adonis yesterday. Adonis was happy as heck to talk. I don't know if I told you that, Sierra. I probably failed to mention that. Yeah, we talked for almost 45 minutes. It was Adonis was happy that I reached out. Adonis knows that, like, oh gosh, like, this dude does exist, eh? And B, he doesn't mind having a conversation with me. And I told Adonis, like, hey, anytime you need me, text me, call me, message me, we got you. Right? Remember that saying, you're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. And that's true here. Because your leadership, we just didn't bring you on to override you and make money off you. We want to see you do well. Really, we genuinely want to see you do well. Okay. So that was when you have proximity, people aren't afraid to approach you. This next one. Um, oh gosh. What if you invest in your team and they quit? What if you don't invest in them and they stay? Right? What if you invest in your team and they quit? But what if you don't invest in them and they stay? The thought there is you got to make an investment and let the chips fall where they may. Yep, is it going to be exhausting sometimes? Absolutely. Right? Are you going to have people put on you and not do everything that they say they're going to do? Say, hey, I'm going to be on the Zoom and not show up to the Zoom. Right? Say, hey, they're going to be in the training and not get on the training. Right? Hey, so they're going to get the policy and keep the policy and not. Are you going to have those things happen? Absolutely. But you need to continue to make the investment. It's easy to grow cynical, right? But here's the deal. On the flip side, if you don't make the investment and they stay, that's a headache. That's a headache in itself. So you might as well just make the investment. Continuously make the investment. Um, this was something cool. I thought this was interesting. He was talking about rabbis that go through training. You guys know what rabbis are, right? Teachers, Jewish teacher, for lack of rabbi. There you go, rabbi. For you that don't know who that is, not Rabbit Dan. Um, Listen to this. He said their teaching style, and I thought this was so interesting. He said the teaching style is be with me, become like them, and do what they do. So you will be with the teacher, look to become like the teacher, and do what they do. I said, gosh, that's just field training. Right? I said a whole rabbi talking to field training. I'm like, gosh, that's just field training. All that is, right? We want you to, as a new person, and this is what you should want with your new teammates, right? You should want them to be with you out in the field, right? To become like you, present the opportunity like you, and then do what you do. Be able to spin them off independently. I was like, guys, praise them. That was like field training 101. There you go. A few more, and I'll be done. Sorry, I'm a little over my time, Dan. Uh, as a coach, you sign up for the wins, and this is good. So as a coach, you sign up for the wins. So the wins are the team's wins as a coach. But as the coach, the losses are on you. Right? We sign up. So as a coach, the wins, hey, the team gets the credit for the wins. Right? If the scoreboard is lighting up, man, that's the team. That has nothing to do with me in a sense. But if we are losing, that L is on me. And you see a lot these days, man, where people are pointing the finger, like the leaders, the coaches, right? Right now, you want to see it? Go watch. There's a lot of sports going on, playoffs and national championships. You see it in some of these guys. I love when I see the coach they lose, the coach takes the blame. Like, hey, I could have did better X, Y, Z. Then I saw an interview the other day where the coach was blaming the whole team. I was like, dang, that's terrible. And that's why they're not winning, right? He was like, this guy need to do this guy need to do that, this guy, this guy. I was like, whoa, in the press conference. I'm like, gosh, tearing them up right there in the press conference. I think, in my opinion, that's poor coaching, right? We got so team wins. Hey, team's doing a great job. Team loses. Hey, I need to do something. I need to be doing something better. I need to be doing, and that's usually the case, right? When Dan's numbers are down, I guarantee you he doesn't go. He gets to work. He puts that burden on him, and then the team follows. And then as the team follows and they start winning, they're lighting up the leaderboards. They're recruiting new people, hiring new people on. Then I bet you he turns. You saw him do it Friday night. What did he do? He's shouting out his new teammates. He didn't take the credit for that. He pointed out his new people, his new studs that are in the game crushing it. That's what leaders do. We talked about this a little bit. Proximity is power. Talked about this a little bit. People first mentality. And then this last one. Let me see here. You have, and we kind of talked about this also, but this is a good one to end with. You have to get people to be with you beyond a transactional basis. You have to get people to be with you beyond a transactional basis. The thought I had there was people quoting the boss, they'll quote a friend, they'll quote a supervisor, they'll quote a manager, but they won't quit on a friend. Right? They won't quit on a friend. Right? So you got to be a lot more than just a boss, a supervisor, or manager. You got to become a friend with these folks, right? And help them accomplish their goals and dreams. That's all I got, Dan. It's on you, man.
Awesome. That was good. That you said some people don't get to experience Primerica because they experience you first. I could not get over that. That's big, man. How many people have experienced you but not Primerica, but equated Primerica to your work ethic and your attention, your involvement, right? Your excitement level. Man, we could just end the meeting with that, to be honest, right? Because you and I both recruit people to the same Primerica, but we get different results sometimes, right? Why is that? Right? Your energy, your excitement, your attention, right? So I'm going to talk to you guys this morning about something that has been on my mind a lot lately. My last couple of talks have been about this same thing. But the reason I'm going to talk about this so much, Dion, is because if we understood it, we'd have 100 new recruits at least within this group of people. But we just, for whatever reason, aren't figuring it out yet. Right. So we're going to talk about distribution. So I literally just Googled this. I said recent mass layoffs, right? And my little Google AI person here, it said many companies have announced mass layoffs in 2024, including Google, Microsoft, Tesla, eBay, PayPal, Expedia Group, Intuit, TikTok, Salesforce, and others. Finance companies, Goldman Sachs, Citi, and BlackRock. Entertainment, Pixar, Paramount. Other companies, a bunch of other companies right here. GM laid off 1,400 people in November, like 3 months ago. Or 2 months ago, they're reconfiguring a plant in Kansas. Why in the world am I showing you that? Right? Because our economy is still in the dumps, right? And I think it'll turn around here pretty quickly, but that's a different conversation for a different day. But at the end of the day, right now, currently as it stands, it's still $10 for 30 eggs. Yes or yes? Right? The economy is crazy. Right? People need to make money. And on top of the fact that people need to make money, people are getting laid off at higher rates than almost ever before. Right? So they're not making enough money. Everything costs more and they're losing jobs. This is a perfect storm for you to be in Primerica. Do you understand that? This is a perfect time for you to be able to build something big here, Leah. Get big, make a bunch of money, make a big impact, and save some people financially. But in order to do that, like we always say, in order for the rising tide to raise your ship, to raise all ships, you got to be in the water. Right? And so from a distribution standpoint, I have a question for you. Put it in the chat. What food service company has the best distribution on the planet? Right? What food service company has the best distribution on the planet? McDonald's, McDonald's, McDonald's. Yes, McDonald's, correct. This Golden Arches, right? And if you don't believe me, go look up when KFC, before McDonald's started selling chicken, I love this story, is crazy to me. But so KFC was the #1 chicken distributor on the planet, right? They ran the pyramid of all chicken nuggets, right? They were literally distributing everything. They were #1 in the world, right? They were #1 in the world. And then McDonald's released something that you all know and love called the chicken nugget. Okay, now you can make an argument that it's not a chicken nugget anymore and it's a paste nugget, but that's a different conversation for a different day. But the chicken nugget, right? And when they released the chicken nugget on day #1, Sierra, they went from not on the list of chicken distributing to #1. Why? Outlets, distribution centers, stores, right? AKA reps. All right, they blew it up, right? How did it happen? How did it happen? Same thing with eggs, right, David? Exactly. Anything that McDonald's introduces into their market, into their business model, becomes a #1 seller within minutes. Why is that? Because of distribution. How that happens, right? How this happens is because of a guy named Ray Kroc, right? I actually heard, I think, forget who mentioned the movie The Founder. I think somebody mentioned it on Friday night. But that's where this talk is from, right? This whole conversation is from this movie. If you've never seen the movie The Founder, you should go see it, regardless of your opinion on McDonald's and whatever. And like, this movie is a great movie on just like what it takes to win. This dude, back in like the 50s or 60s, I don't remember exactly when it was, saw something that had potential and ran hard, right? He met these two brothers, the McDonald's brothers, and the McDonald's brothers were people that started a company that we all know and love called McDonald's Hamburgers in California. They had 3 stores when Ray Kroc met them, but they worked at one, right? And Ray Kroc showed up to sell them a multi-mixer, a milkshake mixer. Okay, y'all ever get the McDonald's milkshakes before? Like, it's sold and used by a multi-mixer is how they mixed multiple milkshakes at one time, right? Because before they could only do one at a time. So they would be a very slow distribution. Well, Ray Kroc sold multi-mixers. Multi-mixers allowed them to do multiple shakes and mix them at the same time, right? I know it sounds obvious, but that was their bottleneck in their business, and Ray Kroc had the solution. But when he went to McDonald's, Ray Kroc saw this fine-tuned machine, right? He saw this distribution system inside of the building that everyone had a job and everyone had a station, and they essentially had a conveyor belt of what it took in order for them to get something, make something happen. And if you've seen the movie, he literally takes them to a tennis court and he draws out in size the entirety of what the kitchen's going to look like. And they are literally running the place here on a tennis court of moving the trays and moving the things and passing things around. It's so cool to see, because what it shows you is that winning is on purpose, right? So many of you want to win, but you don't want to put the work in, right? So many of us want the success, but we don't want the no. So many people want to have, they want to make $100,000. You want to get the ring. You want to get that RVP contract. But that doesn't happen on accident, y'all. Like, you got to be willing to go to the tennis court and put the reps in, right? You got to be willing to pick up the phone and get hung up on and have people no-show you. Yesterday, I was telling Taylor, I actually texted Jerome and Mel this yesterday as well. But yesterday, it just out of full transparency, was one of those days where I was like, why in the world am I doing Primerica? I had 7 appointments scheduled, Sierra. 3 people blocked me. 2 people confirmed and didn't show up. And 2 people just straight ghosted me. I'm like, what in the hell is going on here? Like, I was like, this is stupid. Like, why in the world am I doing this? But on the way home yesterday, we went to Dave and Buster's because everything blew up on my calendar. So we went to Dave and Buster's for a couple hours with the kids yesterday. And on the way home, I was just telling Taylor, I was like, this is the price that you got to pay to win. Like, questioning everything I've ever decided to do in Primerica. Like, it's just, Leah, it's just the price, right? At the end of the day, like, that's a check I gotta send to the company, to Primerica, right? To just say, hey man, I'm willing to pay that price. Got ghosted and no-showed and blocked. It is what it is, right? And then we got on Sunday Night Skills last night, and I would tell you that I probably gave the best training I've given in Primerica in a very long time on a technical skills-based thing last night. And so, man, I was just fired up at the end of the training. right? And so you have to understand that you got to put the time in and you got to get to work and you got to bust your butt, make things happen. You got to pick up the phone, right? Ray Kroc built McDonald's by making phone calls. You understand that, right? He called investors and he was asking them back in the 60s for 10 G's. If somebody wants to look up what $10,000 in the 60s is worth today, that would be awesome. Do that for me real quick and put in the Zoom chat. But what's crazy to me, guys, is that excuse me, what's crazy to me is that when he's making these calls asking people for money to put money into this business, McDonald's, that by the way, back then wasn't a proven business model, had zero track record, was not a household name. He was asking them to invest in him. Right? You're not asking people, I mean, you are asking people to follow you and invest in you. But you're not asking people to invest in you in the capacity that Ray Kroc was. He was asking them to invest what is the equivalent of about 100 G's right now. Right? He was asking them to put $100,000 into a system in a business that he didn't know if it was going to work or not. You're asking people to right now this month put $74 into a business where if they just pass their test and do field training appointments, they will get at least $350 of that back. And it is a very proven business. We had last on Saturday night, the 32nd person in the company go over $2 million in a rolling 12-month period. That's bananas. Find another company that's got 32 people making $2 million a year or more, with another 110 making $1 million or more. Right? You can't. It doesn't exist. Another company like Primerica does not exist. So if Ray Kroc can pick up the phone and make it happen, you can pick up the phone and make it happen. Right? Everybody type, I can do it in the Zoom chat. I know some of y'all out here forever, like I don't have anybody else to call. Guess what? Your grocery store full of people. The mall around you full of people. If you are not new, you can find an infinite amount of people to talk to. If you're new, you have the best opportunity right now because you got hot market people that you can call that will give you at least referrals, right? And you got to close the deal, right? Like you got to get so good that you can close the deal. Ray Kroc's out here getting $10,000 checks from random people whom he has never met based on his vision. Not a proven concept, Sierra, his vision. That's crazy to me. You're afraid to ask your client to sign on the DocuSign dotted line to save $50 a month on their life insurance, turn that around and invest it and have way more money. This dude had zero proof that this was going to work. None. But what do? Ask for the close, right? You got to ask for the close. Ray Kroc was an American businessman and an entrepreneur who had a net worth of $600 million at the time that he died in 1984. That's the same as $1.4 billion. This was 2 years ago, I think, that I made this presentation the first time. So it's even more than that now, probably 1.7, 1.6. Man, how'd he do it? Right? Sierra, that's the age-old question. If we could figure this out, we'd all be multi-billionaires, right? If we could figure out how the heck Ray Kroc did it, we could get there, right? We could at least have a pathway, right? Well, he recruited people, right? He recruited people to his vision, right? I love recruiting in Primerica because it allows you to expand your vision. It allows you to pour belief into other people. There is nothing I love more about Primerica than seeing people like Dana and Malcolm like come alive, right? There's nothing I love more about Primerica than when someone's like just kind of going through the motions. They're living their life and like things are good and fine, but they come into Primerica, Sierra, and they start to see what it could be for them, and they catch on fire, man. They totally change in such a great way where they're like outgoing. They're excited. You hear it in their voice. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Like they're just excited again, right? They're dreaming. Like that's what I love about Primerica. You can recruit people to their future again. Right? I love that about this business. So here's the top 3 things that you need to do to explode your business, right? Number 1, you need to call people. You need to pick up your phone. Every once in a while, probably once a month or so, I make you all pull out your phone. So everybody pull out your phone. If you've been around for a while, you know what the heck I'm about to tell you to do. Pull out your phone and go to the phone call app. There is I don't know if you knew this or not, but on your phone, there's a little green button if you have an iPhone. It looks like a phone. Click it. When you go there, there's a keypad. It's got 9 little digits on it or 10 little digits. If you type in numbers and you push the green button, it calls people. And then when you put your phone here next to your face, guess what happens? There's another person on the other side, and you can set an appointment with that, right? Some of you forgot that that's a thing, right? Like, oh, I'm setting all my appointments on social media. That's why you're getting ghosted all the time, right? Oh man, Dan, I set 15,000 appointments yesterday, and ain't nobody showing up. Well, Dion, if you pick up your phone and make phone calls, you're gonna get into a better market. They're gonna know you're real, and guess what? People still aren't going to show up. Why? Because that's people, right? It is what it is. But then you're going to get on the call and you're going to get some studs that come into the business. Number 2, be excited. Man, Drone basically hit that nail on the head. Sometimes people don't get to experience Primerica because they experience you. Nobody wants to follow, and what Art Williams always say, nobody wants to follow a negative, disillusioned, frustrated, dadgum crybaby. Right? Nobody was going to follow you if you're looking like Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh up on your calls. Right? Like, oh, it's fine. We have training at this time. And if you do this, then you can get to district leader and blah, 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 blah. No, shut up. Like, you better not talking to anybody like that rather than talking to them like that about Primerica. Why? Because you're going to ruin it for everybody else. You got to be excited. And maybe let's keep it real for a second. Maybe your vision and your belief in the business maybe isn't where it needs to be right now. Well, borrow my belief. Borrow Jerome's belief. Borrow the belief of somebody who's rocking and rolling right now and get them on your calls and let them help you. Because it's not that Primerica doesn't work, y'all. It's that we're not working and we get frustrated with the business. When in reality, we should be frustrated with us. Right? Like I will never lie to you all. And y'all know I'm a straight shooter when it comes to coaching. You don't deserve the right to get mad at Primerica when it's not working because you ain't doing nothing. If your docs aren't over 25, you have zero right to be mad about Primerica. It is what it is, right? Like I was talking to Leah for a few minutes this morning. Leah's like, I had all these appointments yesterday, closing some business. I'm studying today. Like, Leah, if you keep that effort up for the next 90 days and you're not making $5,000 to $10,000 a month, you can be mad at me. I'll give you full permission. You can call me and cuss me out, okay? Especially because Ohio State's not going to win next week. Then you'll be even more mad. But anyway, but you can be mad at me if you want in 90 days if you keep that activity up. But until then, put your head down and get to work, right? Because you got to give this thing time to develop, right? You got to give this thing time to develop. So you got to be excited. And number 3, you got to make the ask. Some of you aren't closing business because you aren't asking. Right, you're on the appointments with people and you're running the appointments and you're giving a better presentation than I am, but you're just like, all right, well, what do you think? And they're like, it's cool. And you're like, all right, have a good day. And you hang up. You're never going to close nothing doing that. Right, you have to ask for the close. Right, you have to. You must. In fact, I would argue it is your duty. Everybody type duty in the Zoom chat. It is your duty. It is your job, right? To ask for the close, Sarah. You got to ask for it. Man, if you're running an appointment, Dion, and you don't ask them to move forward at the end of the appointment, it is your fault that they didn't move forward. 100%. There are times, guys, listen, there are times that I'm going to close on the second appointment, right? I'm not comfortable closing a life insurance policy on that first appointment on this particular example for whatever reason. And Sarah, rather than me not ask for the close, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to set the financial needs analysis and I'm going to tie them down to coming to it. That's how I'm asking for the close on that. Does that make sense? I am closing the next appointment. Every appointment that you are on with a client, you are closing the next appointment and then sometimes a product. You are always scheduling the next call. Always. Because if you don't, they're going to get lost in the shuffle. Trust me. Especially, Leah, if you keep up your activity like you have been for the next 90 days, Dana, you're going to have some people just getting lost in the shuffle. You'll be like, what the heck's going on here? I don't even know who that person is. That's a good problem. Because when you have so many people that you don't know who's and what's going on, Sierra, what's left, what's right, what's up, and what's down, that means you're moving. And guess what happens when you're doing that, right? When you're churning the butter, when things are happening, the cream rises to the top. The good people show up. right? And some of you guys are like, oh, well, Dan, that's mean. What about the people that I gotta like handhold and drag through all of eternity to do anything? God bless. There's meetings for those people. Friday nights and Sundays, they can get on. Yes or yes. Right? If they're locked in and engaged, they can come to this call and sit here and do nothing. I'm working with the people that are rocking and rolling. I want to work with the people that are setting their appointments, getting their licensing done, and they're moving. Why? Because I want the path of least resistance. Right? That's not selfish, that's smart. Does it make sense? Like for you to have to think about doing everything the hard way doesn't make any sense. Why would you not just pick the things that make sense, move in a direction that's easier, right? And just do the work with the people that want to work with you rather than try to move dead bodies and encourage people and tell them they got to work with you when they have no desire to work with you. And they told you, Sierra, that they're going to quit 2 months ago, but for whatever reason, you're still just fighting with them tooth and nail every other day about getting on a meeting. God bless them. Bless and release. Let them watch. Keep them as a friend on Facebook and go freaking win, Leah. Go win. Go make some money. Go win the trips. Let them watch you crush Primerica, and they come around a lot of times. I promise you. Right? When things are happening for us in our business, when we're winning trips, when our income's up, when we're getting recognized like crazy, all of a sudden, guess what? Our Primerica business, I recruit people like it's going out of style. It's so easy because they're coming to you. But right now, all of you are in a position, probably, most of you at least, you're in a position where that's not happening right now. And so you got to go find them. But once you go find them long enough and you do the work, they come to you, I promise you. All right, so you got to get to work, guys. I love you guys, but we got to make this thing happen. We got to go get big. Hey, everybody, go find Sarah. Actually, wait, don't go find Sarah. I'll pin Sarah real quick. Sarah is the only one with a record breaker background. Y'all notice that? You're supposed to break your record this month, guys. Your appointment setting single day record, okay? Everybody put in the Zoom chat, including you, Lacey. I know you've been in the business for 14 seconds, but what is your single day, 1 day appointment setting record? What is it? Put it in the chat. Dion, 5. David, 11. Lacey, 4. Leah, 7. Excuse me. Dana, 5. Calvin and Sierra, 30. Karen, 13. Sarah, 7. Arden, 3. All right, every one of you in single digits, break it today. Break it today. We should have a whole bunch of purple backgrounds on there. Guys, listen, and every one of you that's over, mine's 33, 34, something like that. I don't even know. It's at least 35. So I promise you by the end of the month, towards the end of the month, I'm going to do everything in my power to break that record. Like Jerome said last week, like, man, that's a lot. That's scary to think about setting that many appointments in. That's stressful, to be honest with you. But those of you that are 3, 4, 5, 7, like, break it today. Stop farting around, pick up some momentum and like go make it happen. Okay. Like it's not rocket science. You can do it. Pick up your phone and break your record. We need at least 2 more banners on here tomorrow. If you're going to go get your banner today, type me in the Zoom chat. If you're going to go get that banner and you're going to be one of the record breakers for the month, go put me in the Zoom chat. I just want to see who's going to fight for that today and who's okay with just being average and ordinary. I just want to see real quick. I'm just trying to get a gauge for who wants to be coached. All right, so we got Karen working on it. That's it. God bless. Okay. All right. So we're going to go to the docs real quick. And we're going to talk about what you're doing today. What are you closing? What are you setting? Where will you be tomorrow? We're at 106 rolling 12 appointments or rolling 7 appointments, excuse me. We're at 106. Guys, we got to get this back up. Right? We got to get this back up to 130, 140. I believe we'll be at 150 by the end of the week. And please don't let it just be me and Calvin and Sierra setting the appointments, y'all. All right, let's get some work out here and make it happen. So today I have 3 kitchen tables, 4 recruits, an orientation, and 6 coaching calls, short little phone calls. The coaching calls are not included on my docs though. Calvin and Sierra, I'll be at 55 tomorrow. Calvin and Sierra, 22. What do you got today? What will we be tomorrow?
We got 11 falling off today, so we're going to try to maintain quite a bit of recruiting appointments. We got a team kitchen table. We have an investment appointment for one of our new teammates, and we also have an IBA or a couple IBA scheduled this evening. So, like I said, we're going to try to maintain.
Big day, pre-qualification month. Make it happen. You're a third of the way through the month. You're almost a third of the way to pre-qualify. You guys have your licenses, y'all can do it. Like you're 2 months away from being an RVP, but it requires you and Calvin to lock in and nothing shakes you off that train. And here's the thing, Sierra, the second that you guys decide to do that, you're going to get hit with every type of adversity that you can possibly imagine. Every stupid thing that can happen under the sun is going to happen. Make the decision and just expect it and pay the price. Once you do it, it's done. And you're going to be so proud of yourself on the other side of that. I'm super excited for you guys. Jerome and Mel, 11.
Yo, what's up? Great call, bro. I got 1x1, a business owner appointment, 2 orientations, a client follow-up, picking up some money from another client. I'll grow today. Yeah.
All right,
I'll grow
sounds
today,
good.
bro.
All right. Leah, passing her 63 today at 1 o'clock, y'all. So keep an eye out in the Zoom chat for that. Not to put you on blast, Leah, but Leah's going to pass. It's going to be incredible. Leah, what do you got today?
Just my exam today. No appointments. Have a personal appointment at the doctor this morning, but studying, crushing it. The goal though is to still set 8 to break my record today. So that would put me at 18 tomorrow.
Awesome.
Need all the support.
Leah, can I give you a little bit of coaching in front of the people real quick? Is that okay?
Of course. Yep.
All right. Every single one of you, this applies to you, but it applies to Leah today. Lacey, it'll apply to you tomorrow, okay? Anytime you're going to take a test, you have 2 possible outcomes on the test, right? You pass or you fail, right? So check this out. If you fail, you're probably going to be a little bit frustrated, maybe a little bit deflated, and that's fine. It is what it is. Like, I get that. I can respect that. But you can change your mindset very quickly by getting your activity up. Right? It's very hard to be frustrated when you have a lot of crap going on in your business, right? You got a lot of new people, a lot of new things going on. So, Leah, you're going to pass today, but if for whatever reason you get the opposite result of what you want, bust out of that thing and set a crap ton of appointments. Leah, but when you pass, you're going to be fired up and excited, right? And people are going to be able to hear that in your voice. So you should take full advantage of the rest of the day and smash your appointment setting record after you pass. Because people are going to hear it in your voice that you're excited and that you're going somewhere, and they're going to want to be a part of that. So you should make the rest of your day dedicated to setting appointments after you pass. Right? Make sense?
Yeah.
Guys,
Yeah.
listen, that's the mindset. I failed my SIE, my sixth, I failed every single one of those at least once. Every single time I called Andy and I called Nate and they told me, go break your single day appointment setting record. And almost every time I did, Leah. And what that did for me was that showed me that I get to choose how I respond to adversity. Right? So hopefully that's a nugget for somebody, not for you today, Leah, though, because you're going to pass. Lacey, you're going to pass tomorrow. So you guys don't have to worry about that. But in the future, if it does happen for somebody, just for a look at that, you control the response. Dana and Malcolm, 5.
I don't have anything on today. I'm gonna just grow today, and then study for my Series 6 and get
Do
that
you have
figured out.
that scheduled yet or not yet?
I'm gonna call today about the U4 and get
Okay.
things figured.
Okay, gotcha. Home office should be open today. So Karen and Dana, both of you should be able to call securities licensing and ask what they need.
Okay.
All right, perfect. Karen, 5.
I have 1 recruit appointment and studying 2, right, for all that, and calling them, but I'm going to work on breaking my record and get 14 appointments.
All right, sounds good. Karen, also pre-qualification month for you as well. You're at 7 by 43.90. Also, Leah, you as well need more premium, but 2 by 400, like decent start for the month. Guys, Karen, Calvin and Sierra, Leah, massive, 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 massive activity. All 3 of you pre-qualifying for RVP this month would be huge for the momentum on Friday night. I'm telling you, like, it's so much more than just your business, right? You would help everyone else on the call by being a great example. Having 3 pre-qualifications in the same month would be huge. So let's make it happen, guys. Who's going to be the biggest at the end of the month? Karen, Sierra, or Leah? Put it in the Zoom chat. Who y'all think is going to win? That's what I want to know. Who do you think is going to win? Let's see. Leah says me. Sierra says me. Karen said me. I was waiting, Mom, for you to vote for somebody else because you're yellow. But all right, guys.